Welcome. Well, thanks for everybody for coming to our celebration of our marriage that occurred about 6 weeks ago. Thank you. Special thanks to a couple couples that came a long way to come here. One is my friend from Boston, Stu and Lori Rosenwald. Thank you. And then we also had Dana's uncle and aunt come all the way from Long Island, New York. Uncle Bob was Dana's father's younger brother, and we're happy that he made it. And got it on the right. So, anyway, Dana and I met online July of 23, and it's been a whirlwind. Quite honestly, when we first met, neither of us ever thought we'd get married again. And as the relationship developed over the next several months, we realized that we shared a lot of the same values, and we really became very well connected. And several months later, we decided, you know what? I'd like to get married, and she said, I do too. We started planning it, but it's been a great ride, and obviously life is so much better with a partner as opposed to being alone. And we're very thankful and blessed that we found each other and couldn't be happier. And we wanted to share today with some of our friends and family, and we're glad you could all make it. We're going to have a great dinner. Chef Joe is going to do a great job and prepare a great dinner for us tonight. We have a great band. After the dinner, we're going to have some dancing, and it should be a fun evening. And I appreciate everybody coming here tonight. And that's basically it. We have one of Dana's longtime friends, Natalie, would like to say a few words, and then I have a friend of mine, Stu from Boston, would like to say a few words as well. So, Natalie? Dr. Natalie.
Good evening, everyone. Dana is one of my dearest friends. Dare I say, sisters in another lifetime. I'm thrilled to be here this evening because we are celebrating one of God's greatest gifts. It's a small word that has a big meaning. Love. We read in Corinthians that love is patient and love is kind. And it's not boastful. Nat King Cole said that L is for the love and the way you look at me. O is for the only one I see. V is very, very extraordinary. And E is even more than anyone that you adore. On the big screen, we've watched films like Love Actually, P.S. I Love You, Shakespeare in Love, and Marvel even joined in with Thor, Love and Thunder. That one really wasn't very good. Love, as my husband says, has this je ne sais quoi, which means that it's really indescribable, even though so many have tried to describe it. And I think we can all agree that love is a very special feeling. Lucky that we feel when we feel it. And tonight, we certainly feel it. To my dearest Dana and Frank, may this be just one of many palpable moments that you feel love throughout your life. I love you.
Okay, Stu. Yeah. All the way from Boston.
So,
Yes.
When I was about 30 years old, I worked at a private school in Southborough, Massachusetts, which is about 25 miles west of Boston. And I would play touch football with a group of guys from my private school. But the games started to get too small where not enough guys would be there on each weekend when we would play. So one day, it kind of fell apart, and one day I said to Lori, my wife, I see this game at St. Mark's every morning on Sunday. I really need to just go and crash that game so that I can have my own game every week. So I did that when I was about 30 years old at the time. And it was the greatest decision I ever made. They welcomed me in, and I played in that touch football game on Sunday mornings for 20 years. And we would start about a week after Labor Day. Sorry, I had a couple of drinks. About a week after Labor Day, we'd start, and we would play until April. Every year. Didn't matter how much snow was on the ground. This is Southborough, Massachusetts. So we did that, and the greatest outcome for me was getting to know Frank. So as the years went on, Frank and I became very good friends, and the reason we became good friends was that we both liked to gamble. We would drive to Foxwoods or Mohegan Sun probably once a month and go gambling. And that's how I really got to know Frank and his wife Debbie, and Lori then got to know Debbie and Frank too, and the four of us would get together on occasion, and when Debbie got sick, we were very sorry about that and cared deeply about her and also Frank. And as it was clear that she wouldn't make it, and then she passed away, Frank's whole perspective was, I want to find a companion for myself. And I was very proud of Frank for taking the bull by the horns and really doing that. And he did. And the result was, after some trials and tribulations, he found Dana. And we have been so thrilled to have Dana enter the picture. And part of that is, I give you last night when we were out to dinner at a restaurant with Frank, Dana, and others in the family. Dana and I got into a political conversation. Well, you know, I'm from Massachusetts, so you know where my political views probably are. I know, I'm in enemy territory for the most part. I'm aware of that. And Dana and I had a pretty fierce conversation. Or confrontation, use whatever word you want. Pretty fierce. And at the end of it, we still were really good friends. And so, Frank, you've really found a good one. I'm so happy for both of you, and cheers to this great couple who are married. Cheers.
All right, so I know a lot of the people here in the club, though a lot of the people were my first friends in the club and in the building where we live, and all of my girlfriends now from Tampa have come down to visit and meet everybody, but it's super important for me to recognize some folks who took me in as their first friends. So when I met Frank and I came to Naples and I didn't know anybody, there was some wonderful people up here in this room that were like, hey, you know, come on, I'm gonna be your friend. So Debbie Yard was one of my first friends. Ray and Bob were our first friends, Jack and Joy, Laura Bezzetta, and as time goes on, I met Jackie through Laura, and then I started to meet, I met the Poochies, and then I started to meet all these friends, and they treated me like, you know, family. They took me in and said, hey, I know you love Frank, and we accept you, and so it was really nice to have met all of them, and I really appreciate their friendship, and I hope that you guys can meet some of my friends, because you guys don't know anything about me. I know everything about you from the club, but you guys don't really know much about me. And so there's some parties of people here in a couple of tables that are people that I've known for 20 or 30 years that drove here to be with us and to meet you and say, hey, we want to celebrate with you. So if we look back at that table over there, I've got my really good friend Sheriff. I've known him for over 25 years. My friend Brandy, we've known each other for 10 years. My friend Tammy and her daughter for almost 30 years. I've got Chef Clay, who's my executive chef in my restaurant, and his wife Amanda. Jean-Marie, who's my bestie.
I'll tell you everything you want to know.
And I've got Natalie, who gave a speech, and Natalie and I have known each other over 20 years. So I hope that our old friends and new friends can all mingle and get to know each other. And I really appreciate everybody just accepting me and loving us, because it's so important. So thank you guys for being here.
Thank you.
All right, let's party.